What I have to say is a quote from Kobe Bryant. I spoke to him yesterday. He says, quote, "I have never been to a single practice." Those were his exact words. Obviously there's going to be people who believe he's lying. I'm going to take him at his word because I don't have any proof that he's lying, number one. Number two, it's pretty easy to disprove. If you said that you haven't been to a single practice, that's pretty easy to disprove. But Kobe is not just smart, he's brilliant. So you have to also pick apart his words from time to time. When he says, "I haven't been to a single practice," that does not mean he hasn't been to the Lakers facility. It does not mean that he didn't have, conversations with teammates. I definitely believe it's plausible that Kobe could have talked to individual players about basketball, but I think the reason why Kobe felt the need to say that is because of something he had reiterated to me weeks ago. He don't have nothing to do with this Lakers mess.
So Kobe trying to keep himself out of this Laker mess, and Lance Stephenson dragging him back in to some degree. So is what we are actually seeing here, this is what I'm feeling is being suggested, is what we're seeing here a little bit of a Game of Thrones-esque kind of situation with Magic Johnson, one of the all-time Laker icons, and Kobe Bryant, one of the all-time Laker icons, sort of on opposite sides.
As RJ would say, phrasing is everything, right? So it reminds me of a time where I didn't lie to my mom, I just didn't tell the whole truth. She said, "No, did you take my car down to the shore?" And I was like, "No, I didn't take your car down to the shore." Now, I went down to the shore, but I didn't take her car. So it almost feels like, in a way, Kobe is like the Kaiser Sosa from Usual Suspects of the Lakers, right? He's never been to a practice, but Rob Pelinka has been to practices, which means Kobe Bryant has been to practice. Yeah. He has a feel for everything that's going on there, and I do think that Kobe has say because of his relationship with Rob and what's going on as his team moves forward.
Yeah, I think his relationship with Rob is unprecedented, and people understand that, and that's the reason why he's probably in that position, of power in the Lakers organization. However, if Kobe said, and I had to take him for his word because he's never been one to, go away from his word. What he says, what he stand on. And he said he haven't been at the practice. I had to take him for that.
Me too. I believe that. There's no reason he would say that if it weren't true. However, am I the only person who, when Stephen A. said it's easy to disprove, thought of the story that Baxter Holmes did, in which Rob Pelinka suggested that Kobe Bryant had dinner with Heath Ledger at a time that Heath Ledger, and everyone knew this, was already dead. So that you want to talk about something that was easy to disprove. I mean, they don't seem to be real careful about the way they cover their stories in LA these days.
Like I said before, it seems like the Kardashians because there's so much going on all the time. It's like everybody plotting against one another, everybody trying to disprove what somebody else said. It's just pure chaos.
Who made the statement? Was it Kobe or Rob?
Rob.
Which statement?
About
Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
Rob did.
Oh, okay.
Rob did about Kobe, and Kobe didn't see
didn't say anything.
He didn't see any reason to come out and say,
no, he did not.
Obviously, that didn't happen because at the time that we're talking about, Heath Ledger was no longer with us. He didn't bother to correct that part, but the notion that he'd been at practice, it was very important to him to make sure the world knew he wasn't at practice.
It's Rob Pelinka and Kobe on the same team.
And Magic on the other side?
It has to be.
And where is Jeannie Buss? Why is this even happening? I don't understand this. Every team has all-time great players. They're not separating on different factions, and the owner gets stuck in the middle. How did this happen to the Lakers?
By the way, Greeny, can we talk about this? You don't think LeBron wants to buy an NBA team one day? You don't think people think that LeBron maybe wants to buy the Lakers? You don't think Kobe and Rob Pelinka or Kobe wants to buy the Lakers? You heard Magic Johnson say on First Take he wants to buy the Lakers. There's a lot of positioning on all this.
Yeah, I think it's, a lot of malfunction going on, but at the same time, Jeannie Buss is doing her best job to keep the family together.
Well, I guess, but by the family, if you're talking about all these former Laker greats, Laura, there is one all-time great player involved with the Lakers right now they need to worry about, and that's the one who's still playing. That's LeBron James.
Right. It feels like LeBron James is just caught up in a crazy mix in all of this. And RJ and DJ, as we discuss this, let's start with LeBron, because it is another point where he stayed quiet, and you would expect him to right now. But as all this continues to go on, I mean, where do you think his head's at?
Well, his head is pointing to June 30th and getting his mind prepared to give a speech to whatever free agents he's able to sit in front of and try to convince them to come and join the Laker brand and try to get it going back in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Bron always has a singular mindset. How can he better his team? How can he better his teammates? how can he get himself in a position to compete for a championship, because that's all he's really known probably the last like 10 or so years. So I think his thing right now is how can I put myself in a position, because Magic Johnson was supposed to be the guy sitting next to him pitching to free agents. Now it could be Rob Pelinka. There's going to be 3 head coaches involved. Now there's Jeannie Buss, the Ramby. There's a lot of people involved in the pitch. And so there's a lot of things there that he's got to now prepare himself for to pitch out to people.
How about this coaching staff that the Lakers has assembled? Because I think it's kind of slid a little bit under the radar that they do in this whole Game of Thrones situation have 3 head coaches now, it feels like, on the bench.
Well, I liken it to a situation being a chef and not enough sous chefs. So Frank Vogel is supposed to be Wolfgang Puck, and the other guys are supposed to stand in line and do their job. But the first sign of distress with Frank Vogel, listen, Jason Kidd, Lionel Hollins, it might be my turn. And all the guys want to get back to being head coaches. So I don't think it's going to work, but that's none of my business.
You got something against Wolfgang Puck?
No. It's a very bold strategy, right? It hasn't been done. All 3 of them, the last time they were coaches, were head coaches in this league. So this has never been done. But hey, maybe it's done by committee. Right? You don't get your number 1, maybe not your number 2, then let's go get the rest of the guys in the market. But I think I think Lionel Hollins can coach. Jason Kidd can coach. Frank can coach. All of these guys can coach.
Yeah.
This is you never see 3 guys that used to be head coaches coming together with not much of a relationship, because Lionel Hollins replaced Jason Kidd. Right? Yeah. So there's a lot in that pot, if we will.
And until you're staring down a losing streak with LeBron James, we're going to see who's able to do the coaching.